the Bowels of Netflix, where your fearless co-hosts Isaac and Larry force each other to watch the worst pieces of shit on Netflix. We will go over every bad edit, all the broken dialogue, all the wooden acting, and laugh along the way, because this is the Bowels of Netflix! All right, welcome to the Bowels of Netflix. I am Larry, and my fearless... I'm not Larry. Wow.
Oh, Isaac, I didn't know you cared.
I've been drinking since noon. I am Isaac, and I'm not Larry. The person who is Larry is the other person on this podcast.
Hi. I'm Larry.
I can't believe I fucked that up. You got a great voice for radio. Just that gravelly... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. So if you're just dropping in on episode 4...
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He escaped from a mental institution. He sends me these in a file. He has my dog.
Yep. I like to tickle it.
Send help.
Okay. This is the Bowels of Netflix. And this week, Larry has made me watch a terrible movie. It's brutal, and I'm going to have to describe it in excruciating detail. This is in retaliation for last week, where I did the opposite to Larry, and he had to suffer through the Grand Masti, which if you want to go check out, that's episode 3, which, if you're good at math, is one earlier than this one.
That's correct.
We do exist on the internet. There is Facebook and Twitter. They're both at Bowels of Netflix. If you want to write in something juicy, we do have an email, so that's bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com, and you could send us a line, tell us what you think about the show. If you want to suggest any movies we could review in the future, we are open to possibilities, but ultimately I get to decide how Larry suffers, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. But we'd love to hear from you. We might read your email on the air if it's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, boy. Okay, so, this movie... It is called Perfect Sisters.
Perfect Sisters.
They are not perfect sisters. I don't know where that comes from.
Well, I mean, then it's fucking misnamed. So step 1, contact
we're
Canada.
Bad.
Tell them
bad
they
out of the
fucked
gate.
up.
So, yeah, this is a weird movie. It's Canadian, and I think it might have been made for Lifetime, but then they released it to limited theaters.
That's the vibe. Wait, this is in theaters?
I think a couple.
In Canada,
it had a release, but I can't find any budget or how much it made.
Wow.
So, but I think there was a release in New York.
Huh.
I don't know. It might have only run in like 15 theaters or something, but...
Weird.
But it is not a good movie. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 27 on the critic aggregated tomato reader, so that's pretty low.
It's lower than Grand Masti.
Yeah. IMDb, I mean, again, you know, when we take a look at the collective population, people are a lot more forgiving than the critics most of the time. This has a 5.6.
Huh.
And I imagine most of those are angsty teenage girls who hate their moms. Oh my god.
I'm so excited. I'd like to give a shout out to my ex-girlfriend who turned me onto this, Felicia. I had not heard of this, so I watched 2.5 minutes and I said, okay, that's it. That would be the one. Let me put that in my back pocket for later.
Well, I never met your ex, and I don't want to because I hate her. Fuck her. God damn it.
Oh, yeah. And I want to point out some of the texts I got since last week from Isaac about this movie.
The first time I watched it, I couldn't cope with it. I kept pausing it to check the time. And I'd pause it at about 18 minutes, and then I'd watch it for an hour, and I'd pause it again, and it'd be at 21 minutes. And I was so angry. I did that 15 times, and
I received 3 texts of note from Isaac. The first that said, "Oh my god, what the fuck is this movie? Goddamn you to hell, you dickless pile of afterbirth." Which, I mean, that warms the cockles of my heart to hear that. That means I've done good. But wait,
it's a fair description.
It gets better. I would rather be tasked to find Roseanne Barr's tampons from the late 80s in the Jersey landfill they have been rotting in and eat them than finish this movie.
It expressed my inner consciousness at that moment.
If I could go back in time and unwatch that movie, and the consequence would be that the only food I can ever eat for the rest of my life was live golden retriever puppies, I would take that deal and be happy about it. I hope you die in a boiling vat of milk.
Okay, I'll walk back from that a little bit. I would still take the deal. I would take the deal, but I wouldn't be happy about it. I just wouldn't be happy, because I've seen this movie 3.5 times, because I had to keep watching it to find out exactly why I hate it, and exactly what's wrong with it.
Has it just affected you in a way, like kind of like a video game, where you can never get back to max health? You're always going to have a chunk that's gone because you had to watch this movie.
Yeah, the next time I go in for a physical, the doctor's going to take a look at the numbers and be like, what the hell happened to you?
That's awesome. I'm so happy this worked out the way it did.
So there's some interesting actors in the movie, actually. And I didn't know who any of them were the first time I watched it. So all I could think about, the two sisters, there's a blonde one and a dark-haired one. And the blonde one looks like great value Kirsten Dunst. And the dark-haired one looks like great value Kristen Stewart. And that's all I could think of the entire time I watched the first movie.
Oh man, you get great value Robin Wright in there and we're on a roll.
Or you're going to build a whole cast for a new movie. But it turns out that dark hair, great value Kristen Stewart, is the actress Georgie Henley, who you might know as the younger sister from the Chronicles of Narnia movies. So once I knew that, I could not unsee it in her face. And similarly, blonde, great value Kirsten Dunst, is Abigail Breslin, who played, I forget the name of the character, but the little girl in Little Miss Sunshine. No, Little Miss Sunshine. She was the child lead. Yeah, that movie is so fucking good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. Is that Wes Anderson?
No,
it seems like
I forget who does it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's barking on his door. That's a phrase. So
barking on heaven's tree.
The mom is played by Mira Sorvino, who's actually an Academy Award-winning actress. She won Best Supporting Actress from the Woody Allen movie Mighty Aphrodite, which came out in the 90s.
Really?
So these are all, fairly successful people who've had big roles and won important awards that must have very bad agents because they're in this movie.
I mean, have any of them... No, I don't know how far you've dug. Have any of them had... careers beyond past this? Well, how old is this? Like, what year?
2014 it came out.
Okay, so 4 years ago.
So, yeah, the child actors, and now they're adults. They're currently in their early 20s, so I don't know.
Stay tuned for Isaac's new podcast, Pedophile Corner.
It's not a new podcast. I've been doing that for years. Come on.
Well, I don't think you're recording it before.
Well, yeah, I guess you do need to record it for it to be a podcast.
I mean, the VHS tapes don't count.
I could extract the... Anyway, okay. So, I don't really know what any of them have been up to, but they've all been important places before, and they're in a very unimportant place now. So, the one thing this movie has made me... Okay. There's a lot to get into. The first time, I just hated everything about it. I hated you. I hated the acting. I thought it was the worst acting I'd ever seen. It was driving me crazy. But upon rewatching it, I realized a couple of things. Because I think all three of these notable actors are actually really good at acting.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Yes. The problem... A couple of problems. One, I hate teenagers.
Yeah, they're the worst.
I hate teenagers so bad. Two, the writing for this movie is terrible. So you could give the best actor in the world terrible writing. They can only do so much with it. Mm-hmm. And three, because I couldn't even find the budget, it must have been so fucking low budget, I'm convinced they did maybe 3 takes of each shot. So, and even a great actor probably needs more than 3 takes of a shot. They just took whatever the best one was. So whenever they do seem off in their acting, I think if they would have just had a normal professional budget shoot, they could have actually acted much better.
Huh. So good acting, bad writing, bad everything surrounding good acting.
Yes. And teenagers. And speaking of teenagers and bad writing, I have a game we're going to play, Larry.
Okay.
And this game is going to have some consequences because it's going to determine what your next movie is. There's two choices.
I don't like this.
One of them involves teenagers. So if you fail the game, you'll be learning a lot more about teenagers and bad writing.
I'm not going to be a guest on Pedophile Corner, okay? No matter game or no game, it's not happening.
I think the age of consent's 15 in Jersey, but anyway.
How is your wife?
She's rolling around somewhere. I don't know. And the other movie...
You see a lot less of her ever since you moved up on that hill that's sloped.
Yeah, she gets going. She gets up to speed at the bottom of it. But yeah, the other movie, if it happens to be your time, I will explain at the end of this episode what that is, because it's a treat. It's a treat.
I'm sure it is.
Okay, so the game. I'm going to read you some quotes that teenage girls might or might not say in this movie, and it's your job to identify whether it's a real quote from the movie or if I made it up.
Oh no, they're the worst though. They're so stupid, teenagers.
Yes, they are.
Oh god.
All right, here we go. I mean, if I'm going to marry a hot doctor and drink mojitos by my in-ground pool all day, I'm going to have to be like Auschwitz skinny. Is that real or fake, Larry?
Okay. Give it to me again.
I mean, if I'm going to marry a hot doctor and drink mojitos by my in-ground pool all day, I'm going to have to be like Auschwitz skinny.
I feel like they wouldn't say mojitos. I feel like you would say mojitos because I know you're a genius. I'm going to say that's real.
That's a real quote from the movie?
Yeah.
You are incorrect,
fuck,
sir. I made that one up.
Fuck, I should have known. I knew the mojitos thing was a tip-off. God damn it.
All right.
You heard me back myself into a corner there, right? You heard me get that right the first time.
Yep. I was so worried.
God damn it.
All right, next one. I don't know what your deal is, but you can't just dye your hair blue and dress like a slutbag and expect to be the shit all of a sudden. That's not how any of this works.
Oh, that's definitely real.
That is real, ding, ding, ding.
Slutbag is a giveaway there. You wouldn't say slutbag even for joking's sake.
But I did write these after I watched the movie, so I might have adopted some of their lingo, so be on your toes. All right, ready for round 3?
Yeah.
You know, you are just a junior, a tiny caterpillar who can't even begin to appreciate the magnitude of my butterflyness. Real or fake, Larry?
Give it to me again.
You know, you're just a junior, a tiny caterpillar who can't even begin to appreciate the magnitude of my butterflyness.
See, that sounds like something you would say as like a master's thesis sort of thing because you're clever, but that also sounds like something a teenager would say and think it's fucking deep. Good
arguments on both sides.
I am going to say that is real.
Ding, ding, ding! You got another one right.
All right. Whew.
All right, round 4. Oh my god, did you see the way he was looking at my boobs? I wonder if he thinks I'll put out on the first date. Because I totally will.
No, that's you reliving a fantasy.
God damn it.
I know you.
Larry's doing good.
I know you
ding,
a little
ding,
too well. I think I've heard you have that fantasy in your sleep.
Yeah, it's a nightly thing. Okay, round 5. I've always known I was destined for greatness, but senior year, the clock starts ticking. I mean, if you're going to win a Nobel, a Pulitzer, and an Oscar, this is when you have to start bringing it.
Okay, well that has a name of another movie and of a teenagey movie. That sounds like... That does name awards that I don't know that the average teen would know, but again, would some dickhead Canadian writing that? No. Like, not all Canadians are dickheads.
I'm not convinced of that at this point.
Give that to me one more time.
I've always known I was destined for greatness, but senior year, the clock starts ticking. I mean, if you're going to win a Nobel, Pulitzer, and an Oscar, this is when you have to start bringing it.
I'm gonna say that one's you, but I think that I'm gonna give myself the emotional out of saying that's a tough one. I'm gonna give that's you though.
You are incorrect, sir. That is an actual quote from the movie.
Damn it, that was a good pick because that sounds a lot like you.
That's a good quote. Round 6 of 8. We're getting toward the end here. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes I think when he's looking at me, he's not seeing the real me. He thinks I'm just like everyone else and not even special.
That's real.
Incorrect, sir. That is made up. Ooh. Coming down to the wire, you're tied 3 for 3 with 2 to go.
Come on. You didn't even do an odd number, you dopey twat?
If you have to do better than chance.
Okay.
Alright, so round 7. You know what? You might think I'm just a hoebag who's blown half the score, but I'm just getting ready to stretch my wings and fly higher than you can even dream of.
The quote about the Pulitzer, was that real? Or was that
Pulitzer was
fake?
real.
Okay. I'm going to say... Shit. This sounds like that's in the same conversation as that one. But I also know you are smarter than I am, and you know that you're smarter than I am, and therefore you know that I know that you know that I know that you would try and trick me. Give me the quote again.
You know what? You might think I'm just a hoebag who's blown half the score, but I'm just getting ready to stretch my wings and fly higher than you can even dream of.
That's you.
Fuck. You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
You made a little too much hullabaloo about the slut bag to then me to not the hoe bag. Yeah, okay.
Last one.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's looking in. Thank you for giving me that one.
Fuck. Okay. Look at us. We're beautiful and talented and have so much potential. I mean, I'm going to be this amazing actor doctor, and you're going to do amazing things and be really, really rich.
It doesn't account for the third prize, she said. Man, I wish we had the capability to use a lifeline and get somebody else on the horn.
You could call up Abigail Breslin.
Oh, wait, hang on. Hey, Abigail, get your panties on. I got a question for you. No. Give it to me one more time.
Look at us. We're beautiful and talented and have so much potential. I mean, I'm going to be this amazing actor doctor, and you're going to do amazing things and be really, really rich.
I'm going to say that was you because you shifted the emphasis around, and I think you're trying to play off the fact that was. So I'm going to say that was you.
Incorrect. That was an actual quote from the movie.
No!
Amazing actor doctor. I could not possibly dream that up. That is too stupid.
God damn it.
So you came in even. You came in equal to chance, 4 for 4. That means you're watching a movie about teenagers.
Fuck me.
Oh boy.
God damn it. Oh, no.
Although, to be fair,
close.
I think the other movie would be worse. Because I'm saving it, for the pipeline, but we'll see. Okay. So, this movie is a true crime story, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
So, more or less what happens actually happened, with some important differences that we'll get into as we go. But keep that in mind as we go.
Mm-hmm.
So we open with some floaty, ethereal bullshit music. Think the kind of stuff Enya puts on when she's chopping onions. We see close-up waves on a beach. We see a shot of clouds. There's some lens flare. There's kites. There's a starfish with water flowing over it. And someone just put their hand in the water. Now there's a bad overlay of old home videos of 2 young girls playing around. And then a voiceover. Ever since I can remember, it was always me and my sister against the big, bad world. Then we cue up some pop-punk music that would have been much more appropriate to open a movie about teenagers 15 years ago. It sounds like Sum 41 or Third Eye Blink 82, whatever, some shit.
Okay.
And the actual...
I can hear it in my head, even though I'm not hearing it. I really can. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You do know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure if they were trying to do a period piece, because the actual crime did take place in 2003, when this movie would be... I cannot talk. When this music would have been appropriate. But they never give us a date stamp, like summer 2003 or something like that. And then later on, they have music that's much more current. So it's just weird, and I'm already angry. We see our family in a car towing a U-Haul trailer. We have a mom, 2 teenage sisters, and a 7-year-old brother. The mom, Mira Sorvino, who's, an Academy Award-winning actress, and they're in Canada, the whole thing takes place in Canada, was filmed in Canada. The mom's the only one who does a Canadian accent.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you let her do it if no one else is going to do it? It just sounds stupid.
Well, I mean, how... So, do the girls' voices sound like the quotes you gave me? Like, are they...
No,
are they
I exaggerated,
okay.
But it's still... Hearing their voices makes me angry, and them laughing.
How thick...
Teenage girls laughing.
Yeah, I know you like them pound and gagged. How thick how thick is the mom's accent? Like, really... hey,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm the only one in this movie with a Canadian accent. I'm sorry. I'm such a bad mom.
How about you? Sorry, your Canadian accent's terrible, by the way. But
it's hard to do. I was trying to learn how to do it.
I mean, I don't know. Have you seen Trailer Park Boys? Because they're all Canadian, but like their accents are kind of in and out. It's not like some are really thick, and some you can only kind of tell on the A's.
Most Canadians don't really have a strong accent. Actually, I think it depends where you live. But
I play D&D with a Canadian guy, and his, again, kind of like Trailer Park Boys, his only comes out like you can kind of hear it in the end of some words. So yeah, I don't know. But no one else in the movie, or is it just the main characters that don't have Canadian accents?
No one else in the movie.
Oh.
Not even like the extra, and they filmed it in Canada. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
so
that was my next question.
But if most Canadians don't have accents, okay. Anyway, so the mom in her Canadian accent says, "This new crib's gonna be kick-ass." That's terrible. What was that?
Oh my god!
Shut up, you. And then dark hair says, "Mom, you're not allowed to say kick-ass." Oh God. And fucking teenagers, man. Then the little brother in the backseat just interrupts that conversation and says, "Mom, can I go live with my dad?" And the mom just says, "No." And then there's an awkward silence for 5 seconds before we cut to the next scene. What the fuck is this?
Okay. That's amazing.
Oh, the sisters are grabbing boxes off the trailer, and then they have a shared imagination of what a perfect mom might be like. So multiple moms who are glowing kind of yellowish-orange tinge around them walk up to them one at a time. There's one that has a tray of cupcakes, one that says she wants to buy them a bunch of shit at the mall, one with a yappy little dog, one of them that's doing yoga.
This is the scene I saw where I thought, okay, you know what? I gotta make Isaac watch this.
Larry. Oh, God. Then the perfect mom walks out in a frilly pink dress with cheesy, happy, fucking stupid music. And she talks to them about how good daughters they are and how they're going to be a happy family from now on. And then the brother holds up his hamster cage, and we see that the mommy hamster has eaten all the baby hamsters, and there's a bunch of little baby hamster corpses covered in blood in there. And the dark hair sister says, yeah, sometimes mommies just kill their babies. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get that far.
Yep, it's really weird and heavy-handed symbolism of, the mom is ruining our lives and she's eating us like a hamster. God, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this, Larry. I hate it more now that I'm talking about it.
I'm so happy. I've never been more happy.
So they start setting up the house. They see a couple cockroaches on the counter, and the one girl's like, "Oh my God, I'm living the worst life in the world. There's a cockroach. I don't even know third world countries exist." So the mom leaves for her graveyard shift as a nurse. We get a fast motion montage of the girls setting up their room to more super corny music. It's almost like Benny Hill, but for teenage girls. And they laugh and talk and act like teenagers. Okay, so they are getting dressed up for the first day of school. Blonde has added a blue streak to her hair and wears super 80s-y kind of clothing with like big bulky jewelry and stuff. Mm-hmm. Dark hair has dyed her hair even darker and has on some thick eyeliner now. She's going for the goth thing. And that is when we get the line, you're just a junior, a tiny caterpillar who can't even begin to appreciate the magnitude of my butterflyness. And I think that's when I texted you one of the more colorful ones, because that line is so infuriating. The magnitude of my butterflyness. God.
The magnitude of my butterfly. I mean, that sounds like something. I can't. God, I'm getting angry. I'm not even watching this.
40-year-old man writing for teenagers. Okay. So they get to the school, and there's a montage, skateboards, backpacks, and stuff, and there's more stupid music that is a couple of decades late. They eye up the captain of the football team and describe him as fetching. Now,
Fetching?
Larry, that's a word they used in the 40s, right? I'm a 29-year-old man. I have not been a teenager for quite a spell. Are teenagers bringing fetching back? Or is the writer that bad?
I'm 27 and I have the brain of a 54-year-old, so I'm the wrong person to ask. But I don't think if we asked your average teenager that they would know what the word fetching means, which is not related to a dog.
If we have any teenage listeners, please tweet us the frequency with you use the word fetching to describe attractive people.
Fetching.
I know, it's weird. It's really weird.
How old are these girls? Like, give me your best guess.
Blonde is a senior, and she rails on about it forever, and dark hair is a junior.
Okay.
So 17, 18. I think the actual girls who committed the crimes were 16 and 15 at the time of the crime.
So they bumped them up in age a little bit to make them seem less sympathetic, I guess, or something? Okay, anyway.
No, they make them seem more sympathetic. That's...
Oh, I've struck a nerve. Now,
yes,
Isaac's wife, when she managed to use her broken fingers to make her phone take pictures, sent a picture of the wall of their bedroom that was just covered in pictures of Canadian girls with, like, red lines all over the place and, like, circles and dots and arrows and descriptions.
You don't know how close to accurate that is.
Are you serious?
There's a mystery at the end of this that should be solved. I'm not the person to solve it, but if I were a little crazier, those strings and pictures would be on my wall.
Oh, man, let me just tell you right now, and I shouldn't reveal this, but I am the kind of crazy person who would try and solve that.
Oh, well, this might be your life's work, Larry.
Oh, he died as he lived.
Okay, so we get into the school, and we see a cute fella who actually looks creepy as fuck, to be honest, but he's supposed to be cute. He's wearing guy liner, so that's what we're going to call him. Dark hair obviously crushes all over him. Then the sisters go down the hallway, skipping sisters. Hand in hand.
What? Okay, let's roll the clock back 2 minutes where I asked how old they were.
Yeah, like senior and a junior. Now, Mr. Director... No teenager has ever skipped unironically in a high school, ever.
I'm glad you said unironically.
Yes, because it has happened, but
I've done
always
it.
with tongue-in-cheek?
Yeah, and in his mouth, but, I mean, it was tongue in his cheek.
Right.
No, I never kissed
How
him.
did you manage that while skipping?
It was really fucking hard.
That sounds hot.
No, my friends and I used to skip.
Yeah, but not giddily.
No, not giddily. It was always ironic.
Okay, so then they're done skipping and they're going off to different classes or whatever. So we get a shot from beneath of their hands breaking apart. Foreshadowing. Ugh.
Oh my god. I can hear... I do not live near you, but I can see back in time when that shot happened. I can hear you groaning.
Yeah. Okay, so now we start to get into the meat of why they need a perfect mom to go with their perfect sisterhood. Because we find out mom is an alcoholic. So she is drunk as a skunk. Blonde dumps her cups out and yells at her. Then she goes to check her mom's schedule, which is printed on the fridge, and freaks out because mom's supposed to have an 8 a.m. shift, and she's drunk, so she's not going to be able to go.
What's her drink of choice?
I think vodka. They show the bottle a couple of times, but it's not super clear.
Like, it's not like Grey Goose didn't sponsor an ad.
No. They are poor. They are on the lower economic scale. Okay. So it is Vladimir's gut rot vodka. Is
Bankers Club the cheap one?
I think there's cheaper, but that's a bottom shelf for sure.
Okay, I don't know anything about liquor.
And then the girls are upset because they've gone through this cycle before. Dark hair lights a cigarette on top of the apartment building on the roof at sunset because cool teenagers.
God, I think I hate teenagers too.
Oh man, I don't even want to fuck them anymore. I used to, but I can't. I couldn't.
After he finished watching this movie, ladies and gentlemen, he went down to his basement, he flung open the doors and said, "Be free!" And then, like, you know, he had to, like, kick 3 skeletons out, and, you know, it was kind of sad, but it was a really nice gesture.
Yeah, more realistically, it'll be like on Pornhub, and it'll be an 18-year-old's first time, and it'll be like, ew, no, MILF, please.
Oh, okay, well, not gonna touch that one.
Alright, so we cut to a typical high school party. Guyliner and Darkhair sit on a couch flirting. Guyliner has a leather band on one arm that goes from his wrist to his elbow.
What?
I don't know if that's a style thing these days, but it makes me want to go back in time, find his pregnant mother, and take a few whacks at her with a Louisville Slugger. I'm so mad at that.
I don't...
Teenagers.
You need to describe it to me like I'm 4.
It's go from his wrist to his elbow, a skin-tight leather band that has a zipper on the inside of the arm where he should be slicing open his veins.
Why? What?
I don't know.
So it's like a really over-exaggerated gauntlet?
Yeah, kinda. I guess it's cool.
I wish I knew more about fashion.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you're right, I don't.
So they start talking, because they're both gothy, they start talking about nonconformity, and he says, "I just woke up one day and realized I wasn't who I wanted to be." And she says, "So out came the eyeliner?" And he just shrugs and is like, "Yeah, better than Bing, like everyone else." Oh my god. Now, South Park handled his best in the Raisins episode with Butters, but nonconformists who fall into nonconformist stereotypes are such pathetic assholes. Real nonconformists are fat 40-year-olds with bad haircuts who love Justin Bieber unapologetically and wear sweatpants literally everywhere. That is nonconformity, not goths. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, the nonconformity doesn't have a dress code.
Exactly. How do you not?
I learned that from goddamn Grand Theft Auto. How can people not figure this out?
I don't know.
Why are young people so stupid? They're not the future. The future is puppets.
Puppets?
I stole that from
You got a new hobby or something?
I stole that from somebody else. It's just the funniest joke I've ever heard, and I try to squeeze in wherever I can.
It's pretty good. All right. Okay, we cut to the other side of the party where Blonde is apparently a pathological liar because she made up a story about having an affair with her therapist and being pregnant.
Yeah, teenager. It sounds typical.
So the host of the party is the rich popular girl. She'll be known as Popular Girl from here on out. There is tension between her and Blonde, apparently. And that's where one of the lines, which one was it? The slut bag. You can't dress like a slut bag and expect to be the shit all of a sudden. To which Blonde goes on a tangent about how horrible her life is, and all I wanted this year is for guys to look at me. Rich Popular Girl says, "I can drink to that." And Blonde says, "Awesome!" And they're friends. Just like that. Fuck me, Larry. Fuck me. I can't do this. So, and I'm trying to figure out how much is it terrible writing and how much do I hate teenagers.
I mean, it sounds like it's both. It sounds like the writing is really bad, but I don't know if it's, like, particularly worse? I don't know.
I'll have to sneak into a high school somewhere and take a listen, see what's going on.
Local man arrested. We just had his head to a teenager's stomach.
We'll have to cut that part out so it's not used as state's evidence against me. Oh, God. God, this movie. The sisters come home from the party, and the mom is drunk again. She's sitting on the floor in front of the couch with the little brother, who is playing with her vibrator like an airplane. And it's turned on, of course, and Fuck, God damn it. later, Blonde finds Mom...
Wait, who slow the fuck down?
They pick up the little brother and carry him off to bed, and they're like, "Oh my god, Mom, it's a school night, you bitch."
It's a school night. Why are you letting little Remy Timmy play with his fucking dildo?
You should only do that on the weekends, Mom. What's wrong with you?
Now, okay, is that not an appropriate toy for... okay, hear me out. If I had a kid, a baby, and I bought a dildo...
Well, he's 7. He's not a baby.
Okay, if I had a 7-year-old, and I bought a dildo that wasn't, particularly articulated.
And this one's not. It's a small pink shaft.
Okay, well, I think my whole argument just fell to pieces when you said small pink shaft. Never mind.
Well, it doesn't have veins.
Resume.
There's no head.
Resume.
All right. So we cut to Blonde
small
finding
pink
Mom.
Shaft. Sorry.
That's the name of my hip hop album.
Oh god. That's the name of my dick.
Blonde finds Mom locked in the bathroom. Mom's in the tub getting ready to slit her wrists. Blonde stops her. It cries. Whatever. Emotional stuff. There's some decent acting here. Perfect glowing Mom appears in the doorway and tells Blonde that it's just Mom's time to die. But Blonde saves Mom anyway. Alright, so Mom is hosting a very awkward Thanksgiving dinner with her 2 sisters. I'm pretty sure they're sisters, but it gets weird because of that.
Well, are they perfect sisters, or are they just regular sisters?
I think there's some line where it makes it sound like they're actually friends, and they're aunts, but they're not blood related. Mm-hmm. But then there's other lines that make them seem blood related, so I don't really know. And it's relevant because there's nephews.
Okay.
So, anyway, Mom announces she just lost her job.
What did she work?
And
is it ever revealed?
She's a nurse at a hospital or something, I guess.
Generic, boring. I was hoping to be like a syrup factory, but I think I just hate Canada.
No, it's a hockey stick factory. She's a nurse at a hockey stick factory.
A nurse? Yeah. We have so many hockey stick related injuries per year. Blow your dick off.
We also find out Mom has a new boyfriend, and then she asks her sisters for money, and they very awkwardly say no, and there's tension. So Blonde's cousin is Jewish Samwise Gamgee. And that's how we will be referring to him throughout, because I could not unsee it.
Hey,
and he's young. He's
take the ring,
he's going off to college. Larry, goddamn you! Oh, okay. So Blonde and Jewish Samwise Gamgee go for a walk, and he reveals he's had a crush on her for years, and they're cousins. And now, actually, to be fair, I don't believe incest should be illegal as long as you're of age and consent. But as of now in our society, it's still weird. So there's that.
I'm waiting to see if there's a bit before I start judging you.
No, there's not a bit. Necrophilia, too. I have a business model, and I'm willing to... Well, not a business model, but I think we should have... I think, like we have organ donor cards, we should have...
Still waiting to see if it's a bit.
Body donor cards for necrophiliacs, and I'm willing to do this. After I die, I'm full permission, do whatever you want to me, just don't dig up a corpse of someone who doesn't want it to happen.
I'm gonna pump your corpse full of so much
Yeah, I just, when I'm on my deathbed, just double check, you're good to go. I'm 99% sure I'll give you the nod and have at it.
Okay, look, the necrophilia part, you know what? Sure, I don't care with my corpse. Throw my corpse in the trash. I don't give a shit. So we're in agreement there. I'm not so sure about the incest part.
Yeah, there's some weird things to it, but the deformed babies don't really happen until it's like father-daughter generations over and over again. Yeah. If it's just cousins and they have kids, they're probably going to be fun.
I guess so.
I actually did research in this for an academic paper, believe it or not.
I believe you.
So, but there's horrible stories about people who didn't know they were brother and sister, and then they fall in love, and then they find out later, and then they go to jail for 20 years, and they have children.
That's fucked up. Okay, I don't think it should be I don't know that it should necessarily be a punishable by the law offense. I think it's probably something we should still discourage.
Yeah, there could be
Societally.
weirdness. There definitely people are going to take advantage of it.
Don't
So
fuck your siblings. If you got a hot cousin, you want to finger her or him in the pool. I mean, you know what? Go for it. But don't fuck your siblings. Don't fuck your parents. And actually, you know what? Let me redirect that. Parents, fuck the shit out of your kids. I'm gonna delicately drop my mic and then go commit suicide.
You got to get a leather armband first.
Oh, yeah.
That's step one.
Do you think the zipper
Okay.
is to like stop to allow easy access to wrist slitting? Like he'll slit his wrist in the drop of a dime.
I guess. I don't know.
God damn it! I'm sorry. If you're kids, if you're suicidal, tell an
No,
adult.
no. Well, yeah, and we joke about it because the world's a horrible place and we need to poke fun. Suicide is never funny, but
Well, I mean,
this character is so preposterous, and as we'll see, they're all such assholes.
Mhm.
They deserve all of the ridicule. Oh my god.
I've known Isaac for, what did we say last week? How long? 12, 13?
32 years.
A long time, and like I can tell that this really got to you.
Oh yeah, it did.
Like really, folks, this is Isaac with this really a burr in his boot. It's fantastic. I'm
A burr in his boot.
I'm so happy.
Okay. Right. Okay. So the cousins are out, and he says he's had a crush on her for a while. They flirt for a bit. She flirts back. She tells him to think of 10 different words to describe how attractive she is. And then he asks for a kiss, to which she replies, "Oh, look, a dead bird," and then leaves.
Does he
The
give
writing.
her the 10 words?
He gets to like 5, and then they,
Oh.
giggle, and then he asks for a kiss.
Oh.
And then she says, "Oh, look, a dead bird," as an excuse to walk away. What the fuck is that?
Okay.
Alright, so we see the mom cleaning up the Thanksgiving table, and she stares intensely at a half-empty glass of wine. Or there's a few glasses of wine, and then she picks them up and slings them back. And that, could it be a fine scene in itself? It's her struggle. But then we slowly, dramatically pan over to reveal dark hair standing in the doorway with a gape mouth, and she says, "I guess it's a normal Thanksgiving now, Mom."
Boy.
So even when they hit a note that could be good, they fucking blow it.
Oof.
So, Mom's new boyfriend comes over for the first time. He's one of those actors who does a bunch of character roles and shows up. You've probably seen him elsewhere. I forget his name. He's very good, but he plays a complete creep,
Do you know
so it
something
makes
else
your
he's
skin
in?
crawl.
Can you think of something else he's in? Because
No, I don't know.
fair enough.
But it was his Wikipedia page lists like 200 movies. Like, oh, I've seen that movie.
Oh, one of those.
I mean,
yeah.
he's probably in Kill Bill or something for a hot minute, but I don't know. So he's sitting at the kitchen table, and Blonde offers him a single brownie on a plate. She says she's been working all day on this brownie. He doesn't want it. She insists, and then he takes a bite, and Blonde walks over to Darkhair and starts giggling. Now, what would you assume they're giggling about?
She put something in it.
Right, that
I
would be
assume-
the assumption.
I mean, I assume like something gross, something like personal, of some kind of hair or something, or like a roofie. Probably not a roofie.
Yeah, maybe a pot. Maybe it's a pot brownie. Get him high
Yeah,
before the date.
Yeah, okay, pot brownie.
Well, I don't know, because that scene's over after the giggling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Is this,
there has to have been something else that got cut. Otherwise, if that's not the case and this was the scene as intended, I am just going to die.
oh my god, do we have a Grand Musty? Is this shit get cut for content?
It's probably just to save time or something. I don't know for sure. I mean, every movie they overshoot and they cut some stuff,
Uh-huh.
but
why'd they keep...
how? I know, but this scene is not important at all. You don't need the brownie scene for any reason, so you could just cut the whole thing.
I think the
instead of
brownie
cutting-
scene is integral to the entire movie.
Losing my shit, Larry.
I don't... Okay. God, I hate that shit. Take it out of the goddamn movie if it doesn't mean anything. What
I know. I know.
Fucking nonsense.
So
Write our own goddamn movie.
we should. It'll be terrible, too.
Oh, yeah.
So in the middle of the night, we see new boyfriend and dark hair run into each other in the hallway, and they're both going to the bathroom or whatever. And he gets really creepy and tansy, then physically intimidating, and it seems like he's about to rape her before he just kind of stops and walks away. And it's a really intense scene, and they both act it very well. It's just uncomfortable because of the subject matter. But it makes your skin crawl, so it's very well performed. These actors have talent when the writing's not terrible and when they have enough time to properly shoot them.
Huh. Well, that's a shame.
Yep. And then, we just get kind of a hot mess of how terrible mom is and how bad her creepy boyfriend is. So it's New Year's Eve, and the girls come home from a party, I guess, and mom is in lingerie, drunkenly singing and grinding on creepy boyfriend. Dark hair goes into the kitchen, creepy boyfriend follows her and starts groping her. She freaks out and leaves. The sisters and little brother come home from school to find mom and creepy boyfriend fucking on the living room floor.
Heyo.
Yeah. Creepy boyfriend just kind of climbs off and walks away, and dark hair leans down and asks if she can have some friends over. And
whoa. I mean, timing?
She does it in, like she knows what she's doing, kind of
okay.
Hey, mom, do you think it's okay if I have some friends over?
Okay, and then she
you're such a horrible
snaps.
person. No, then we just cut to the friends coming over. So
Right.
there's a poker game with the sisters, popular girl, guy liner, and mom and creepy boyfriend are joining in too. Mom is drunk and is embarrassing, tells popular girl how good creepy boyfriend is at pleasing a woman, so that's uncomfortable. Creepy boyfriend puts his foot in dark hair's crotch and starts wiggling it around.
Oh, that's creepy.
So that's, real creepy.
It's uncomfortable.
Oh, and he's got one of those Lester the Molester mustaches, too. Just the mustache they've touched a boy.
All right.
Okay, so dark hair, she's got to do something about this. This is not cool. She's on the phone with social services. They ask if there's any physical or sexual abuse worth reporting. To which dark hair replies, no, nothing worth reporting. But it's worth reporting. You've been sexually harassed. You have not been raped yet, but...
I mean, okay. That's worth reporting.
Exactly.
There's no getting around that.
It's this movie clumsily making these fucking monstrous teenagers into halfway sympathetic people. Because there's no way out of their situation but the most... okay.
So in case we forgot, because I think I briefly did, these girls are the villains, aren't they?
Well, in the movie, they don't want you to think they're the villains. They want you to be morally confused and, oh my god, they were backed into a corner and they had to commit this crime. No, that's not true. That's not at all true.
Oh, your gritted teeth make this all better.
They were so great. I think one broke. Okay, so the sisters are in their bedroom, and they're deciding what to do. Should they run away? And that's where we get the line. Like, we're so much potential. I'm going to be this amazing actor, doctor. Fucking goddamn. And that's what this movie has, all these intense scenes of teenagers in this horrible situation being abused and suffering, and then you have fucking lines like that just pull you out of any kind of sympathy.
Well, I don't understand. Is that meant to be comedy? Or is that the writer's shit poor attempt to, this is what teenagers think and talk about?
I don't think it's supposed to be comic relief. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to establish the sisters' relationship as, they joke around and they're just being funny. I don't know. They're perfect sisters, Larry. I don't know if you knew that.
Perfect sisters.
Okay, so they're talking about what to do, and then Perfect Mom walks into the room and says she'll take care of it. Then she revs up a chainsaw and walks out to presumably kill their mom, and the seed has been planted.
Well, she's not real, right?
No.
Okay.
She's their shared imagination, which is weird in and of itself, but whatever.
Do they both talk, about her to each other?
Well, they see her walk in and rev up the chainsaw, walk out, and then they look at each other like, oh, right, we could kill our mom.
Okay, all right.
Spoiler alert, they kill their mom. Fuck, God, this movie.
That's in the Netflix synopsis, I think.
Okay, good. So, the sisters enlist Guyliner and Popular Girl to help brainstorm how to kill their mom. Now, this is a true crime story. There was a woman who was murdered by her daughters. This movie is handling that, obviously heavy, delicate matter. So, what do they decide to do here?
Got to be a shopping montage for, axes and shit.
Close to that. A montage of them discussing and deciding the method of murder. So, all four of them are in the car with the mom, and the car's filling with carbon monoxide, and they're talking about, we don't get the insurance money if it's suicide, so this doesn't work, and they're giggling and laughing, and there's fucking more teenage Benny Hill music playing.
This is weird.
It's about a real murder. And they push her down the stairs, they dump a bunch of vodka on her face, and put a lit cigarette in her hand, and the bed light's on fire. Yeah.
I guess that's probably the most natural way she'd go.
Yeah, that would have been then you burn the apartment building down and kill innocent people, but they don't even mention that. I forget what they say.
They're teenagers, they don't care about innocent people. They're demons.
So they come up with the best way to kill an alcoholic mom. You get her super drunk, you give her a bath, and you hold her head under the water.
Okay, that's fairly clever.
Yeah. So that's their plan now, and then it's kind of this weird, iffy situation of, are we just joking around, or is this real? And especially Popular Girl and Guyliner lean more toward the joke thing, and the sisters are evolving into reality. I don't really know. Alright, so creepy boyfriend gets angry for some reason. He smacks the little brother in the face and storms out. He's leaving. He doesn't want the situation anymore. Mom goes after him to try to keep him from leaving her. And this is the last straw. The sisters decide it's go time on murder. So Guyliner supplies Dark Hair with Tylenol with codeine and I think a fake ID so she can buy booze. He says, this whole thing is fucked. To which Dark Hair responds with, word for word, it's okay, don't worry. Don't worry, it's okay.
I mean, in fairness, that's a pretty teenagery thing to say.
But
it doesn't mean anything.
How? But just saying the same thing, just inverted. Like, it'd be one thing if it was just, don't worry, it's okay. But don't worry, it's okay. It's okay, don't worry. It's the palindrome of blather. God, Larry, what are you doing to me?
Oh, man.
I haven't been this angry in quite a while. Okay. So, Guyliner...
You're like having a stroke.
Yeah, smelling toast. Guyliner says, I love you, and Dark Hair says, I know. My mouth was forming the words. It's so campy. It's the fucking Han Solo line, too.
It's only good when he says it.
It's proof the writers are from another galaxy. They do not understand human behavior. They can't. I don't get it.
Perfect sisters. They're perfect.
They're perfect. The best. You can't imagine better.
No, it's perfect. It's perfection for you.
So Dark Hair tells their little murder quartet that since she's such a great actress, which they never took the 2 seconds to establish that earlier in the movie.
Oh, the brownie. She pretended the brownie was good?
Like, how hard would it be? You just see her in acting class for 5 seconds, I don't know, or says, oh, I'm going to be in the school play, just drop a line in there so we have some idea of that ahead of time. Come on. But since she's such a great actress, she's going to make the 911 call. So, here, it's Murder Town. Sisters pour drinks for Mom and shove Tylenol in her mouth, and she's barely conscious, so they coax her into the bathtub, and all the while they're messaging their friends who are encouraging them and giving them tips, and this has actually happened in real life. One of their friends messaged them, good luck, wear gloves.
Jesus.
So, yeah, pretty fucked up. Then yeah, Blonde is about to drown Mom, and then she has a flashback. We see the beginning of the movie, the stupid starfish and the waves, fucking Enya bullshit music. And then she's just, fuck it, and she shoves her mom head under the water. The mom starts to struggle, and dark hair, who's standing in the doorway watching, freaks out and runs out of the room. So Blonde is left alone, but she keeps holding her head under the water. And they have a timer set for 4 minutes, because as everyone knows, when you drown someone, it takes exactly 4 minutes every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
The timer goes ding, and the mom stops struggling. Just that.
That's common knowledge. I mean, you know that gold record we put into space for the aliens to find? That was the only thing on there. The rest of that stuff, bullshit. Whale songs, all the Beatles, that bullshit.
Yeah, the Beatles weren't real, but drowning a person, 4 minutes.
I don't think the Beatles were on there. I don't fucking know. But no, yeah, 4 minutes to drown a person.
Let's start that conspiracy theory. The Beatles weren't real.
The who? The what? Oh no, that's a different band. Oh god, different sketch. Yeah, that. So here's the things we know in life. Instant rice, 90 seconds. You can go 3 days without water, or is it 3 weeks without water? No, it's 3
About
weeks.
3 days.
Okay, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, 4 minutes to drown your alcoholic mother.
Yes, and between drowning your alcoholic mother and the instant rice is how long it takes me to come.
Oh, you poor dear.
Yeah. That's on a good day, too. All right, so Mom's dead. The sisters run out of the apartment building,
so Mom's
panicking.
Dead. That was a great delivery.
Okay, so they're going to establish their alibi, so they go out to a restaurant with Popular Girl and Guyliner, and they are eating food, and the blonde starts freaking out because she just murdered her mom, so yeah, she's a little upset. And dark hair tries to rein her in. She runs outside, and dark hair runs after her and says, "No, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's totally good. It's good. It's good.
It's okay. I know. It's okay."
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't reuse that line.
Yeah. Anyway, that would have been something a good writer would have done. At least work with the shit you've got instead of trying to squeeze out new shits.
So dark hair stages the 911 call, and the cops come and haul the body out of the apartment. And at face value, they believe the girl's story. There's empty liquor bottles around the house. She's in the tub. She just drowned. The girls are distraught. They're playing it up. Makes sense. Why would teenage girls murder their mom? Mm-hmm. Then walks in the lead investigator. Guess what he's wearing, Larry?
I want to say a deerstalker cap. That's the first thing my brain went to. Or a monocle.
I forget if he... You're close with a monocle.
Goggles?
No. Goggles. I don't know if goggles would be worse. Probably they would.
I mean, that would be sillier, but I don't know. So it's got to be glasses, but glasses doesn't seem noteworthy.
Not glasses.
2 monocles.
You got it. Yeah.
I don't know.
An eye patch.
Oh, God.
Larry, come on.
Oh, the only other eyewear I didn't say.
You do not put an eye patch on a serious character ever, unless he's a pirate, and even then that's getting close to terrible.
What if he only has one eye?
I legitimately checked. I looked up the actor. He has 2 eyes. Because I was worried I was being insensitive, no.
What about the investigator?
No, you don't do that. No.
Well, this movie seems so accurate, I mean...
God damn it.
Oh, man.
So the lead detective will be referred to as Eye Patch. And it'll make me angry every time. Yar. So he starts sniffing around. He notices the shower curtain is on the inside of the tub, which wouldn't normally happen if you were taking a bath. So something's fishy here. And then he walks out and stares ominously at the sisters on the couch. And then we cut away. Blonde gets plastered at a house party and confesses the murder to the fetching captain of the football team.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's just because the 4 friends know, and they're fucking teenagers, so they're just telling everyone around the school, so the rumor's out. So she's drunk and, trying to kiss him, and he's like, "Hey, I heard this rumor. Did you kill your mom?" He's like, I fucking killed her. I drowned her. I did it. And, you're fetching.
You're fetching.
Oh
my god, that's incredible.
And this is how the actual murderers got caught, too. They were that stupid.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
What?
They got away with it for a year. Okay, I'll get more into it.
Okay,
at the
yeah.
end.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Christ.
So, the end, again, it just falls apart. So we're going hard and fast here. They cut to a beach party. Teenagers only spend time at parties, nothing else.
Have you ever been to a beach party?
No.
Do you know anyone who's ever been to a beach party?
One time I was on a beach and I saw the remnants of a beach party from the night before. Does that count?
Maybe it's because we live in we've lived, you don't anymore, but I currently live and we grew up around a landlocked state. But is that like a thing people do? Hey, people who, teenagers and or people who live on or near beaches, tell me if beach parties are a real thing, because I'm convinced that's something that like somebody in a movie made up many years ago, and then it just became like a thing people assume teenagers did.
We need to set up a survey website where we can just pose these questions and get answers.
I think the Bowels of Netflix is very little bit about movies and more just about two guys have questions about the world, and these movies give them an outlet to have them answered.
True, we have led terrible, sheltered, destroyed little lives.
I have so many questions that these bad movies raise.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, they're at a beach party. Dark hair and guy liner are worried about Blonde coming unhinged and telling everyone about the murder, because that could be problematic.
A little bit.
We see Blonde and we're cutting away to a different scene. Blonde and Jewish Samwise Gamgee are walking along a river.
I forgot about him.
He's got fucking little red Jufro in the face. She offhandedly mentions the murder, just conversation, like, oh yeah, like Avril Lavigne new album just came out, and I drowned my mom, and I think I'm gonna go to the movies this weekend. It's not that bad, but almost.
Oh man, how do you just offhandedly? I want another. Now I am gonna solve this murder. I'm gonna solve this murder. The real life one.
You'll see. You'll see what's going on.
All right, continue. Fucking.
So yeah, Blonde is upset because she's a murderer and she murdered her mom. She's going through some emotional stuff. So she takes a whole bunch of pills and lies in the tub. And dark hair finds her, shoves her fingers down her throat to make her throw up. And that's the end of that. I guess she's fine. I don't.
Oh, they're perfect sisters.
Perfect. Jewish Samwise Gamgee meets up with Blonde to go for a drive. Okay, they're not at a party this time. He is obviously wearing a wire. You can see it sticking out of his shirt, and she could see it from her perspective. If they wanted to establish he's wearing a wire, you have a scene 5 minutes before where Eye Patch is taping the wire to his chest under his shirt.
Well, that's what
you don't show it.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there an establishing scene you just breezed over?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Blonde even says, "You're acting strange even for you."
Oh, the most overused line in any police drama.
She lights a cigarette and some of the ashes blow into the microphone and he's like brushing it away. And she incriminates herself again. He asks her, "Oh, it was fucked up what you said the other day about murdering your mom." He's like, "It's like a one-time thing. We're not going to do it again."
Well, I mean, there's some logistic issues with that.
I guess she just meant we're not going to murder anyone else, but that's what a lot of people say after the first murder, and then you turn into John Wayne Gacy, so don't trust them when they say that.
No comment.
So Blonde incriminates herself, and we cut to the inside of a police van where Eye Patch is wearing headphones, and he's like, "We got her. Yar."
Yar, she'll lead us to the next stage of this murder.
Quick, fire the cannons at starboard.
Full broadside, yar. You did good, Jewish Samwise Gamgee. We be bringing in the eagles to get you the extract. Yarr.
This fucking movie. Oh.
Can we just do these? Can that be our next set of characters? Jewish Samwise Kimchi and Eye Patch, the investigator who's also a pirate.
Yeah, that's the movie we're gonna write.
I think you do a pretty good Jew to my memory.
Yeah, the latkes, boy.
Okay, well that's Woody Allen, but he's technically Jewish, so.
I was helping Frodo out. I thought it was just gonna take a hot minute, and it turned into like years and years. We were walking forever. It was, and my ankles was so sore. I can't stand having sore ankles. It's just the worst. Every day you get up and you're reminded of how much you hate Frodo and the fucking ring. Oh God.
I'm gonna die happy.
Oh boy, where are we?
Sail, ye fools!
Okay. Alright, so a popular girl is getting interrogated by the police. Oh god, more great dialogue. I should have used this in the contest. She goes, hell no, I didn't have anything to do with it. Those girls are pure sketch.
Okay, back up. Pure what?
Pure sketch. Like, they're sketchy, but you don't have to put the Y on it, because that's what old people do, okay. So you just say sketch.
Okay, I thought you said pure scratch, and then I heard skirt, and all I could think of was skirt steak, and then... I have a weird issue with free association, where I'm working on it, but no, it's sketch, as in sketchy?
Yep,
okay.
Pure sketch.
To the same teenagers we returned the question about fucking fetching over to. Is sketch a thing you say? Is it, so
I'm pretty sure that one's real. That sounds, I think I've heard people say that.
To use the parlance of our time, it's the equivalent of throwing shade, I believe is what the young people say.
Yes.
Or casting shade. I don't know which. You've lost me. Now my oldest showing.
Yeah, no, I don't know for sure. It might. It's in the ballpark. It might be a little different. I don't know about the shade throwing.
Isaac, I gotta tell you what. I kind of like the sound of that sketch. I'm not doing a bit. I like that's a good word. The teens might be onto something if that's a real thing. He's real sketchy.
I don't know. You know
what?
Can go down that rabbit hole. I might not follow you.
I don't know. It seems pretty sketch. You know what? I feel the more I say it, the stupider I feel. Which I don't think stupider is a word. So
just start using it in your day-to-day life and see what happens.
I don't know that I want to use it around real people. You don't count. You're just a voice on the other end of the computer. You might be the computer. You might be in the computer.
I might be a robot. You never know.
Oh, what about all the fucking? Anyway, Perfect
Robots
Sisters.
can have sex. Didn't you see Her?
No, I heard that was excellent, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I've owned it on DVD for like 4 years.
For fuck's sake, here I thought we were going to have an impassioned conversation about a movie I heard was good and you owned.
No, I'm just frustrated because it's Scarlett Johansson, but and she plays a role of having sex, but she's a robot or a program or whatever, so you're not going to see her tits. I just feel like I'm going to be let down. I'm a monster, I know.
Sorry, ladies, he's taken.
There's 100,000 years of evolution behind the urges of my penis. I am not guilty.
My hero.
Okay, so let's finish this fucking movie up. Jesus Christ. The girls have been staying with their aunt. They talk about, do we have to delete all our texts and emails? And that's super important. And then Detective Eye Patch shows up with a bunch of cops. He's like, "Yar, we got a search warrant for your computer." I got Irish for some reason. The Irish pirate detective.
"Yar, we got a search warrant for your computer."
We got to see if there's any leprechauns hiding in it.
We hear you got a lead on the potato farming.
So the cops just grab all their stuff and
they were going to film Lord of the Rings, but they said that Samwise Gamgee was Jewish, and yeah, we had them all driven out.
I was at a good thing going in Ireland, and they kicked me out. I mean, I think they got me mixed up with the snakes, to be honest. I was a little offended. That doesn't seem very progressive.
I can't breathe. Oh, God. Oh, anyone who I may have offended, I'm sorry, but your culture's hilarious.
Yeah, oh, the poor Irish, the poor pirates.
I'm fat and I'm white and I'm gonna die hated, if that's any consolation. Oh, I'm crying.
Oh, anytime I make someone uncomfortable in a social situation, like if I have to send a steak back at a restaurant, I'm really sorry, but this is supposed to be medium rare, and I'm fat and I'm gonna die hated, but I need this to be medium rare.
I may have to use that line. I may have to get that extracted and just play it like my text tone.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Oh, man. Oh, why haven't we doing this show for the last 5 years?
We messed up, man.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So, we get a weird scene, because obviously the girls are under investigation. They might be under house arrest at their aunt's house. I don't really know what's going on. They never establish it. But Jewish Samwise Gamgee is in... they come in the front door and he's sitting on the stairs. I mean, well, okay, maybe he lives there too because it's his mom. I'm confused.
So they're under house arrest. Okay, did the girls know that he rolled them over?
Well, that's what he's doing now.
Oh, okay.
He says, "Hey, look, I'm sorry. It was me who wore a wire, but I'm just not comfortable with the idea of murder. As soon as it came up, I can't go to prison. I'd get eaten alive in there, and I don't know if they provide you with Torahs. I need a Torah."
There's orcs in there.
No, orcs don't like hobbitses, not one bit, no. And yeah, that's it. There's nothing really. Blonde goes up and kisses him on the cheek. Forgiveness. I don't know, man.
She forgives him, but
yeah, she gives him a kiss, and I don't know. She's not angry. Dark hair's angry, but she just stamps her foot and goes, meh.
Oh, Isaac, we're getting close to the end of this, right?
Yeah, we're almost there.
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me.
Oh no.
I'm so happy. Carry on.
Alright, okay. Okay. Dramatic slow motion entrance into the courtroom for sentencing. We get an underhand shot of the sisters holding hands. Remember from earlier, the foreshadowing.
Yeah.
God damn it, Larry. I'm having a stroke. So the girls are sentenced to 10 years, which is the maximum for minors in Canada. We have another dramatic slow-motion shot of the sisters being pulled apart by two cops in a big empty hallway. Because that's...
No, but they're perfect sisters.
Yeah, we get during that is a voiceover from the judge. And in addition to this sentence, you are not allowed to contact each other ever for any reason.
Wait. Okay, now, I don't know a whole lot about Canadian law. But...
I guess they just mean
a hard rule to establish.
I guess he just means they'll send him to different prisons, but
that's just for 10 years.
Well, you get out on parole earlier than that, Larry.
Good behavior.
So, and as the cops are pulling them apart, we get another underhand shot of their hands getting wrenched apart from each other, and the foreshadowing is complete. We come full circle, Larry. And then we get a voiceover. Well, now since Mom is gone, I guess the only people we have to blame for our stupid, shitty lives is ourselves. Yeah, no fucking shit, you selfish teenage twat motherfucker. God damn it, I hate you.
Okay, I don't understand making a movie like this, especially a true crime, where you make the murderers the protagonists? The sympathetic protagonists.
Yeah, I'd rather see a very accurate movie made about these girls, because it's darker. It's much less sympathetic.
Like, that can be done.
That is interesting.
I think that can be done. I wouldn't do it with a true crime, and I definitely wouldn't do it unless I was a writer with some fucking chops.
Mm-hmm. But it's fucking psychologically interesting how people can have that level of psychopathy to murder their own mom.
Yeah, for real.
And that's the end of the movie. So here, okay, real life. This is the crime story: the murder of Linda Anderson, and that's not her real name because, in addition to minors only being allowed to be sentenced to 10 years in Canada, if they commit a crime while they're a minor, their identities are sealed. So we do not know who these people actually are.
It's going to make my investigation harder, but I'll find it out.
The sisters were 16 and 15 at the time of the murder. They were tired of their mom wasting money on alcohol, so I'm not sure exactly how much of an alcoholic she even was. She just might have been like on the heavier drinking side or even expensive drinking. And they were upset because their friends had so much better stuff, like pools and nice clothes. And because we don't know who these people are, we don't know more than what the court documents kind of reveal. So we don't know how bad their lives actually were. We don't know if there really was an abusive boyfriend who was getting really rapey, because that definitely bumps it up a notch. But
okay, so that was entirely a movie fabrication.
As far as I know. There's a book written about it that has pulls a lot from the court documents. I didn't get into the book, but I'm curious about it, to be honest. But I did all the digging I could reasonably online, and there's not a whole lot. They started Googling how to kill their mom and get insurance money from her. And they told 3 of their friends, and all 3 of their friends encouraged them and helped them plan. And they really sent, as they were about to murder her, sent the text, "Good luck, wear gloves." That's very real.
Jesus.
And yes, they got $133,000 insurance payout from their mom's death, and they got away with it for a year. An entire year they kept living their lives, and their plan with the insurance money was to take their friends on a trip to Europe and then buy a house and start growing pot in it.
Oh, of course.
Yes, these are not remotely sympathetic people. They are bratty, entitled fucking pieces of shit that murdered their mother.
When did this murder take place?
2003.
Okay, so jeez, not really that long ago, realistically.
Yeah, no, and they're almost my age. I think they might be a little older than me. Yeah, they were 16 and 15 then in 2003. Well, 2003, I was 15.
Yeah, that fits. So
14, 15,
they're almost our age exactly. Your age exactly, yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
So
I never murdered my mom.
They're out of jail by this point, aren't they?
Yes, they are, because they got sentenced to 10 years, identities permanently sealed. They were released early on parole in 2009 and again in 2010. Well, one in each year.
So...
And... Go ahead.
You and I had some, without getting into it, with getting a little serious here, we did not have the best childhoods between us, for various different reasons. We managed not to kill our mother.
Yeah, we haven't killed anybody.
No.
We had to deal with some shit, and most people have to deal with some shit, and you don't resort to murder.
No, especially for such bratty nonsense.
I know, to go on a trip to Europe and buy fucking
pot farm?
house... Pot...
And then, so that makes this movie... Okay, now your rage is starting to get to me, too. Because now the movie is... It's making them the victim.
Yep. And the girls, young adults now, are out. They might have seen this movie and been like, oh my god, they totally get me. They know what a terrible predicament I was in and no one understands, but this filmmaker gets it. I had no choice.
Well, I would imagine that 10 years of prison may have hardened them a little bit. Or not 10 years or whatever. I would hope.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Leopard spots. Who knows? I don't know what Canadian prison's like.
The girls both went to college. One of them is, I think the older one, is in law school currently. She might have graduated, I'm not sure. But, yeah, law school. After going to jail for murdering your mom. I know. And now here's the mystery, and I kind of want to pursue this as my life's passion. No one knows who they are, but they're living their normal lives. So, there's someone in Canada, probably Canada, they might have moved to the States, we don't know, who is their boyfriend, possibly their husband. There's a lot of people who are their friends. They might have children who don't know that they murdered their mom because they're selfish, shitty little twats. And that infuriates me to no end. They can live perfectly normal lives now, except maybe some fucked up guilt, which I hope they have. Getting a normal life after cold-blooded, premeditated murder, especially of your mother, is not okay.
Yeah, just because they were 15 and 16 at the time does not make it okay for them to now...
Yep. And they completely knew what they were doing. It's not, a 7-year-old is super angry and he knows the gun is a bang-bang machine and fires at his mom and doesn't really know what he's doing.
Right.
Sure, get him some psychological treatment, maybe he can have a normal life, but you can have a driver's license and you premeditate it.
Yeah, especially considering they drugged her and drowned her. That's not like something that's not like it premeditated. It's not only that, it's like doubly premeditated. It's not like a crime of passion. Jesus.
Exactly. It's rough stuff, man. They are bad. What's not hombres? Hombres?
I was gonna say hombres.
Bad mujeres. Mala mujeres? No sé. Mi español no es bueno.
Sí.
Maracas.
So, to take it out of the horrible real life part of it for just a second, to go back into the movie.
Sure.
You kind of glazed over it, and I don't know how prevalent it was in the movie, but and it kind of sounds like it wasn't the driving factor that it was in real life with the insurance money. So in the movie, are they doing it for the insurance money, or is that once we get this bitch out of our hair, we also get paid?
They bring it up, they'll be able to, live normal lives when they have the insurance money. They don't do it of the trip to Europe and the pot farm.
Normal lives.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Okay, but there is obviously another layer to this movie.
Are you sure?
You might have missed. You might have missed it, Larry.
I definitely did this time.
I'm going to take you to school. You got your propeller beanie on?
You assume that I never not wear it. I'm not wearing anything but the propeller beanie and my glasses, so...
No socks?
I wish I could make the sound of a propeller beanie spinning, because I would. Whee!
You need... Yeah, that's what it would be. All right, but we have our master's thesis, and we're going to school.
Oh, boy. Somebody should. This fucking movie.
The filmmakers have taken a true crime story and molded it into a salient metaphor for the internal experience of a teenager in modern society. The sisters' aspirations indicate how every single teenager in the world is special and destined to lead great lives. The mother represents the failure of society to recognize how profoundly unique and wonderful every single teenager actually is. The film guides the hands of these disenfranchised youths, revealing to them that if anyone becomes an obstacle to them leading their idealized vision for their own lives, then the solution is simply to drown that person in the tub. Indeed, all of life's problems can and should be found lifeless, floating face down in a tub. And only then will the world recognize the potential that every single teenager has had all along.
Oof.
You feel enlightened, Larry? Feel like you understand the world a little better?
Yeah, I feel like I should quit my job.
Kill some teenagers?
Tell them to hire a teenager in my place, go home and, just make sure that I'm not getting in the way of anyone's potential. Because it sounds like that's what's really happening here.
Yep. Well, now I'm scared of teenagers and potentially being a parent in the future. I'm pretty sure in the eve of my first child's 13th birthday, I'm just going to strangle them in their bed and be like, I'm sorry, Junior, but I saw Perfect Sisters. I'm not taking the risk.
Well, I mean, Isaac, if you're going to do it right and drown them in the fucking tub. Have you learned nothing?
No, I got to stare into their eyes.
All right. You got
and
me
that'll
there.
be used to keep me out of heaven.
Well, there's no such thing as heaven, probably.
Yeah. Well, if there is, there'll be dead crows following you around.
Oh, man. I don't want to talk.
Oh, shit.
I don't want to talk about the crows.
Oh, my God.
About the fucking crows.
Well, do you have any final questions or ruminations of the movie, or have we squashed it?
Boy, Jesus Christ. No, I don't think I do. I'm just fucking, what the hell? It got really dark at the end.
Yeah. And I kind of gloss over them because there's not anything funny to pull from them, but the abuse scenes with the creepy boyfriend are fucked up and dark and really uncomfortable. You feel their fear.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm so conflicted now because I want to know, like, how much of that is actually true.
Yeah. Like,
the parts that makes them sympathetic to the viewer.
Yes, because there's, as portrayed in the movie, I mean, you could never forgive them. They never should have made that choice, but you understand a little better why they were in that headspace. Mm-hmm. What real life seems like is they were just selfish psychopaths. So, I don't know.
Jeez. No, I think I'm good. Now I'm a little conflicted now. No, I'm not. Fuck you.
But
yeah.
Your life's work is to find these Canadian girls and reveal them for the murderers they are.
Well, speaking of Canadian girls, Isaac, let's talk. You and I have
you started dating one who's 3 years older than you?
No. I'd never shut up about it. That would have been if I was dating a Canadian girl and you said Canadian girl murderer, the first thought would be, oh my god, she's gonna kill me. Could be the wrong age, get rid of her. Everything, and my first thought is it's her,
right?
Because I'm that important. So anyway, folks, this concludes our round of movies that we picked.
Next week. We're starting a new round.
Yeah, round 3. So, now, a tiny bit behind the scenes, we went into the last episodes knowing, like, the first 4 episodes, we kind of had an idea what movies the 4 of us were, the 2 of us were getting each time. But this time, we are both entering completely in the dark now. So,
yes, indeed.
This roller coaster is truly, cresting the hill. And
we don't know what we're in for.
Careening down a hill into just the worst kind of shit. So,
now, Larry, next episode 5, which you'll be watching the movie and doing the review.
That's correct.
You chose for yourself which movie you'll be watching, so think of that, because you did not beat Chance in our little game from earlier, Pick the Real Quote. So you'll be watching a movie based on teenagers. Oh, and I hope you love it. It is called F the Prom.
Okay, funny story about that. I gotta cross that off my list for you now.
It looks so bad.
Okay.
Oh my god.
But let me tell you the other side of that funny story. The reason I was not going to pick it for this week is because it looked too good.
No, Larry.
Not good.
If you like this movie,
no.
I will stab your hands.
Not good as in good, but good as in this. You're not going to suffer enough.
Oh, okay. The dad at the beginning of it. What is with that?
Okay, I didn't actually watch any of it. I saw the description and thought, oh, that's a good one. That's definitely on the list. And
I saw 3 minutes, and you'll see the dad, and you'll see why.
So I'm going to. Oh God, I'm going to read the Netflix description. I think we should do that as part of this.
Okay.
F the Prom 2017 TV mature. Maddie and Cole were inseparable before high school. Not perfect sisters, but close. Then she got popular. He didn't. But after Maddie is betrayed, she and Cole reunite. / to ruin prom.
Ooh boy.
Oh yeah.
Sounds scintillating.
Oh boy. Fuck the prom. And my ass. Okay. Well, now
what's the retribution?
Now, this movie that I'm giving you has something of a history to me and some friends of mine that I think you've met. But it's in a sort of it's in a film trilogy that they don't really match up, just sort of the same director. But this film was actually directed by a director that you have definitely heard of. It stars the daughter of this director. You're familiar with one Mr. Kevin Smith, are you not?
Yeah, I know Kevin Smith. I like his work.
Oh, well, okay. I would like you to pull up your Netflix on whatever device you have closest. And I want you to look for a movie called Yoga Hosers.
What?
Yoga.
How do you spell hosers?
Hosers. Yeah, hoser.
Hoser. Oh, my thing's being slow. Hold on a sec. Yoga. Hoser. Oh, no. No. What is this? Larry.
No, Isaac, if you'll read the description, you'll know there's a little bit of history between you and I as well.
Yeah. The description. With an all-important high school party at stake, 2 teen yoga fanatics enlist a manhunter to help fight an army of monsters created by Nazis. No, Nazis. I have seen surf Nazis. I've seen Nazis on the moon. I've seen Nazis, I think, under Antarctica.
Nazis at the center of the earth.
Yeah. And the cast includes Mr. Johnny Depp.
That is correct. And I'll tell you what, he plays a character that he's played in another Kevin Smith movie that I have a very, very strange relationship with that we can discuss in your episode of Yoga Hosers. I hate to deprive people of that, but let me tell you what, folks. Stay fucking tuned for this nightmare.
Yeah, it's gonna get rough.
I found that movie when because I have a list here, and I was typing in a word for one of mine, and this came up, and I had to mute my microphone because I had a minor meltdown of, oh my god, it's actually on Netflix now.
No.
Oh yeah. So
I don't know if I have the capacity to hate a movie more than I hate Perfect Sisters, but next week is gonna be interesting.
This movie is also about 2 Canadian girls. So that's just a beautiful little bit of synchronicity.
I don't want to go back to Canada, Larry.
Well, I'd go back to Bollywood in a heartbeat. So instead of going to
maybe
fucking
later,
prom, you know I was prom king.
Yes. You don't ever feel too bad about yourself because you got that in your back pocket.
I was prom king. For those of you who don't know me, I am a fat nerd, and I was prom king.
What
even
Larry
though I'm now
leaves,
27 and have accomplished many more things of value than that, I still kind of
what Larry
like
always
that.
leaves out when he self-deprecatingly talks about his fatness and his nerdness is that he is the most lovable and hilarious man in the world. So don't listen to his lies.
Seriously,
guess who wasn't prom king? Kevin Smith. Fuck Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith is a real shit.
I like almost every movie of his I've seen. I like.
I don't know what else has he done.
Clerks 1 and 2.
Okay. Clerks 1 and 2 are fantastic. I forgot he directed those. All right.
He did Dogma, which is fucking awesome.
What?
What? You didn't like Dogma?
No, it was shit.
Oh, eat an ass.
Same Dogma with the angels and Jane Silent Bob?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Blah.
Gross.
You hate a lot of things.
I hate most things, yeah.
Oh, and I don't know if it'll ever come on Netflix. It's not. I looked. I reserve the right, and you cannot make, well, you wouldn't make me watch it because I like this movie, Orgasmo. If that ever comes on Netflix, you are watching that instantly.
Oh, but I've seen it and I hate it.
I know.
Oh, I hate it so much.
But I want you to talk about it for 90 minutes.
Oh, God. I never did watch, hang on. Is basketball on here?
No, it's not. I checked too.
Goddamn, thank God.
I love basketball intensely. Orgasmo is funny, but it's not the greatest.
Yeah.
Basketball is like my 12-year-old guilty pleasure movie that I could watch 3 times in a row, and I'd be perfectly happy.
Orgasmo is so bad, though. I don't like South Park. I should. By all rights, I absolutely should. It's everything I should like.
South Park is better than Orgasmo and basketball.
And I don't like the creators. I don't like their work. Orgasmo is so
good.
bad. How is it better than Star Wars and the plot of that movie? They get the black cock. Doesn't make any sense. There's just a black cock, and they just roll with it.
I honestly forget. I haven't seen Orgasmo in a while.
They get the stunt cocks, and one of them's black instead of white, and they just shrug and go with it.
Well, but that movie's so tongue in cheek. Nah. We have different tastes.
They've got a ray that makes people have orgasms. Special bonus review of Orgasmo. They got a ray that gives people orgasms. They use it to shoot low-level porn. I would, if I invented that ray, you would never see me again. I would never leave the house. I'd be dead in a week.
Larry Beard milked himself dry.
It'd be like a fucking...
Be like a mummy when he comes in.
Yeah, it'd be like a mummy. It'd be like the fucking end of that Indiana Jones movie where the moisture gets sucked out of him.
Oh, goddamn.
Fine. No, I'm so excited that Yoga Hosers is on here. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't wait to talk to you about Tusk, too. Oh, boy.
Episodes 5 and 6 are going to be a real treat, so make sure to come back for that.
Oh, it looks so bad.
Yeah. No, F the prom, Larry. F the prom.
I think... no.
But we are the Bells of Netflix. We hope you had some fun. If you want to poke us on the internet, we're on Facebook and Twitter. Both of those are at Bells of Netflix. We will probably flick your virtual nipples in response. Our email is bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com. You could drop us a line, give us some suggestions for the show or other movies in the future. And if your response is hilarious and awesome, we might read it on air, which would be kind of cool. You could be famous like us.
We will not read anything that goes to Bowls on Netflix.
No, yeah. We put that in a database, and we send it to the government because you're obviously a moron and you can't spell.
It goes into that warehouse where they keep the Holy Grail. Or the Ark of the... God damn it, the Ark of the Covenant, and I fucking ruined that joke. Alright, I'm gonna go... Let me get the noose.
You have one prepared at all times?
Yeah.
Alright, well...
Yeah, whenever I fuck up a joke, I just kind of hang myself a little bit.
Just to get it... Do you jerk off? Is that kind of thing?
No, I don't want to carrot eat myself.
Yeah, I would need a spotter. I would... I never want to do that, but if I do it, it's like acid. I don't really want to drop acid, but if I do it, I'm doing it as safe as I can.
Let me give you a 5 seconds of what my brain is like. When you said I need a spotter for jerking off while hanging myself, my head filled that in with the clown fireman from Dumbo with the trampoline catching your cum.
What is wrong with your head?
I'm so fucked up. I don't know. I told you I have the weirdest free association problems. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You keep imagining dead crows around you for some reason.
Okay, fucking my best friend does that to me. So don't you do it too? Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Hey,
well,
thanks for
I
listening,
guess,
everybody.
Yeah, you made it through. I don't know how you did. Yeah. I didn't. I'm falling to pieces over here.
If you're any amateur sleuths with any leads, they can be sent to perfectsisterstheTrueStory@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you for listening, and have a blessed day.
Oh, yeah. Just the blessedest.